Thank you. My name is R.Joshua Collins. I'm the founder of the Facebook group Homeless Advocates for Christ. And St. Paul in the Holy Bible in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 9 through 10 tells us that fornicators, those having sex outside of marriage, and homosexuals, and liars, and thieves, and drunkards, and greedy people, and idolaters, and Muslims, and Buddhists will not inherit the kingdom of God. Jesus died for us. I encourage all people to give their life to him before it's too late. Turn from the path of destruction, self-destruction, and hell, and come to Christ before it's too late. Jesus died for you, and there's forgiveness and hope only through Christ. Now, I want to give a special thanks to Denise Barnes for coming to our church and also spending time with me to talk about the homeless issue. Great change to see that kind of action. You know, and others and I come and speak for the homeless. So thank you for that, Denise. Special thanks to Jose Moreno for getting this on the agenda within 2 meetings, where the mayor for years has never done that, or the previous council. So thank you for that. And Tom Tate, why did you not research and call the city of Seattle or call Utah regarding the housing first thing? If you care so much about the homeless, we shouldn't have to spoon feed people like yourself all this information. If you really care, you should be researching this yourself. Okay, so I encourage you guys to do that. You know, don't expect us to do everything. You know, but I know you know how to use a phone and email. So how can you just call them and find out what's going on? You know what I mean? How do you guys, create these camps and that kind of thing? Anyways, today I know that on the agenda is going to be this ordinance, so I'm going to encourage the council to repeal it, and at least if you can't repeal it, suspend the enforcement. At least put a 3-hour tag on property before you take it. Right now, a homeless individual just told me that all his property got taken after all that hard rain. He just was gone for like 15 minutes, all his property gone. So you were putting 3-hour tags on property before, now you're not doing it, so that's the problem. So I want you guys to take notes on this also, if you care. Seattle opens 3 new homeless camps. This is an article, Thursday, December 1st, 2016, Daniel DeMay, D-E-M-A-Y. That's the article, you can look it up. Seattle Thursday announced 3 new authorized homeless camps planned for Seattle as part of the city's Bridging the Gap plan. I encourage you to look that up, and they've had previous camps before that also. So if you want an idea on safe zones, there you go. Restrooms. Shouldn't all people have the right to go to the bathroom? Shouldn't that be right for all? So if that should be right for all, we all should have the right to poop and pee, right? Then maybe we should consider bathrooms 24/7, right? So that people don't have to go on the street and that kind of thing. We got to raise the bar for kindness, to have it be a city of mercy and kindness and all that. So I encourage the city to do that. And again, my Facebook group you can join is Homeless Advocates for Christ. Anybody that wants to get involved in homeless activism that cares for the needy. Thanks for your time. Please pray for the homeless, my friends. We're going to be continuing to make advances to get more people involved in this, and I'm thankful that more speakers are coming to speak for the homeless. But you can join my Facebook group, Homeless Advocates for Christ. Also email me at servingjesus99212@yahoo.com. If you'd like to contact me or want to get involved or have questions, please pray for this ministry to grow and that many are saved, and that we can get to more cities even to help people in need and impact the nation in a powerful way. So I know all things are possible with God. Thanks so much for your prayers and support, and I do hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you as you seek first his kingdom always.
Laws are enacted for several different reasons normally. They're designed to prohibit behaviors, obviously, serious criminal laws like murder and rape and robbery. They're also designed to discourage repeat behaviors, such as when you get a speeding ticket, you might think twice before you speed again. You get a ticket for talking on your cell phone, you might think twice before you pick up your cell phone, at least for a couple weeks. Laws regarding the criminalization of the homeless do not fall into any of these categories. You cannot deal with this crisis that we're in right now by criminalizing the homeless. I want all of you to think back to the weather of this last couple of weeks. Every time when I woke up because the rain was pounding on the roof, I thought about the people sleeping outside. Every time I was in the car at a stoplight and I would see the homeless person wandering on the street. We cannot allow this to happen. We are the city of kindness. We, like Mike said, we don't need to be following other people's examples. We need to set the example. We need to be the example that everybody else follows. This law is unlawful. It's being used to evict Anaheim residents. That's what we're doing. We're evicting Anaheim residents who happen to be homeless. When property confiscation is involved, you're not only taking their possessions, you're taking their home. You're actually physically taking their home. The ordinance is hurting Anaheim residents. It is not deterring the homeless behavior. They have no other option. There's no change. They get stuff from somewhere else and they're still homeless. They're still out there. We still see them. You're trying to enforce the unenforceable. It's got to end. It really does. I was told by a representative of City Hall that this ordinance is there. It's on the books, but it's not being enforced. I know now that this is a false statement. I saw it myself. I saw it being enforced. So this ordinance needs to be repealed, 11.10, to criminalize the homeless, to beat people when they are at their lowest. I can't imagine that the city of kindness would do this. You hear people will be up here and they'll be complaining that the homeless were going to the bathroom in their yards or sleeping on their sidewalk or whatever. Well, when the park bathrooms are locked, where do you expect them to go to the bathroom? You're driving them out. You're driving them out into the neighborhoods. When all the motels close on Beach Boulevard for the improvement of West Anaheim, where do you think that the people living in those motels will go? We need to step up. We need to get rid of this ordinance, and we need to leave the restrooms open, and we need to open some kind of emergency interim housing area for them until permanent housing can be found. Thank you.
I see the heartbreak in the homeless people's eyes, and when everything that they own is gone. And just imagine, if you will, if someone went and threw away everything that you hold dear, all your prized possessions, everything, and that's everything that they own, and you guys are throwing it away. And like how much that means to them. This is their whole world, and it's gone. And how vulnerable and empty and alone. If you guys would just understand that these are our brothers and our sisters out there, and just live by the golden rule, you know, like how would you feel, you know? There is a storage facility that holds 275 bins for the homeless in Anaheim, by La Palma Park, and I would suggest more of these locations. Instead of throwing away their items, make these storages more available, like another one. That way you wouldn't have to throw it away. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Jody. I'm a District 1 West Anaheim resident, and I'm here to talk about two issues.
Meanwhile, the local homeless in the neighborhood are getting the blame for it, while the real homeless are being victimized and criminalized by the city. The so-called outreach team is more like a homeless removal team. The majority of property that they confiscated for them is either thrown away or never returned. I'm almost done. Because nobody complained what was left afterwards. Things such as blankets and tarps you may consider dirty, but for some who've been living on the street for a long time, filth starts to become less of their worries, and some would rather be warm than cold at night. Okay?
Time's up. Thank you.
I'm Karen Tate, and Anaheim City Council. My name is Eve Garrow. I'm a policy analyst and advocate for the ACLU of Southern California's Dignity for All project. We were heartened to see that the city has put on the agenda a review discussion of chapter 11.10, and we strongly recommend repeal of the ordinance. It is our position that enforcement of this ordinance is unlawful because it violates the civil rights of people who, to paraphrase the U.S. Department of Justice, are sleeping in public because they literally have nowhere else to go. And we do know that many people literally have nowhere to go because the county's own inventory of shelter program spots shows that there are about twice as many people experiencing homelessness on any given night than there are places for them to sleep. So people are often sleeping outside because they have no other choice. Enforcement is also just a human rights disaster. And what I often say is that you don't respond to a humanitarian crisis by punishing the people who are experiencing the crisis. I understand some of the concerns that have been expressed, but I think we do need to differentiate between the unavoidable and innocent act of just sleeping in a public place from true criminal behavior. And I just want to give you one example of a woman that I know very well. She's seriously disabled. She's in her early 60s and she's a mother and a grandmother. But because she is poor and is oftentimes forced to sleep in public, she's received over 12 citations from the Anaheim Police Department for sleeping in public over the past couple of years and has spent 18 days in jail. And that's for sleeping, that's due to her sleeping tickets. She estimates that her property, such as her suitcases, clothing, and sleeping bags, have been confiscated at least 40 times over the last couple of years. And every time this happens, she scrambles to get protection from the elements that night. One evening about a year ago in January, she was woken by the police at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the weather service showed that it was 43 degrees out that night. Even though literally nobody else was in the park, the police told her to leave because she was violating the park curfew ordinance, but didn't, of course, have anywhere for her to go. She's now terrified of going back to jail, and she's busy trying to pay off over $800 in fines and fees from the citations, and that's really money that she doesn't have. And I just ask you, like, what do we gain from these practices? The ACLU is here to support the city of Anaheim in developing and implementing and continuing with affirmative and positive and effective solutions to homelessness. And we just we would just underscore that we believe these ordinances are not effective. Thank you very much.
Ticketing from this ordinance only, again, it perpetuates homelessness, and as many others in the community have stated tonight, the only effective solution to alleviate homelessness is providing permanent supportive housing. The city has taken many steps to provide a year-round transitional shelter, but the second step is to provide permanent supportive housing and also repealing this ordinance, as many residents have stated tonight. Thank you so much.